All right, thanks for keeping it locked to the Elias Macko Show. And we've been having a wonderful week with our Weird Job series all week long. We've been introducing you to some terrific people that do things like wait in line for you, offer a bridesmaid for hire service, just some tremendous jobs that we've gotten to tell you about, like a food stylist, as we had on the show yesterday. Today, we're talking to someone who literally made a career out of writing the fortunes inside your favorite Chinese takeout cookies. Our guest was once a struggling writer, turned into a cookie prophet, once got paid 75 cents per fortune. Let's find out about the life and times of Russell Rowland. He joins us now over Zoom. Hi, Russell. Welcome to the program.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me.
And I have it on good authority. You became a successful novelist and a radio host. So you're after my heart here. I love talking to a radio host.
That's right. We're kindred spirits here for sure.
We are. Tell me how you ended up down a path where you were writing fortune cookies. Tell me about that.
Well, it was a funny story. I had a friend who had a small business in San Francisco, and this Chinese guy came in one day and said, I need someone who write fortune cookies, and I just wondered if you'd be interested. And my friend was not a writer, so he recommended me to this guy, and we ended up meeting. And I don't know if I made a career of it, but yeah, I ended up writing 700 fortunes and I didn't find out until later, but he was one of only two companies in the entire country that provided the fortunes for fortune cookies.
So 700 fortunes. Can you are there ones that still stick out in your mind? Like, do you have your greatest hits in your mind?
I wish I did. You know what? I ended up losing that file.
Oh no!
So I don't have the fortunes anymore. But yeah, it was fun.
You could have sold that to ChatGPT. A large language model would have loved for their models. Jeez, that would have been a valuable file. Okay, well, take me into the mindset of what makes a good fortune. Well, take me back to when you're writing them. What was going through your mind and how to make a good one?
Well, it was kind of funny. I decided to take a little different approach than having the usual promise of, becoming wealthy or meeting a tall, dark stranger. So I just happened to have this book laying around called Great Thoughts. And it was philosophers and politicians and writers and musicians and just great quotes from people. And I just sort of started to condense these things into little phrases, and that's how I ended up writing most of them.
Now, did you have an editor? Would you?
No.
No. Okay. So what was the vetting process like? Like, how did you go between, okay, this one's a good one, that's a hit, that's a not? How'd you do that?
Well, when you have to write 700, you don't really worry too much about whether they're all good. You just want to produce 700. Yeah, and I was assuming the guy that hired me would check them, but yeah, he didn't care. He just wanted the number.
So I mean, you mentioned this book that you picked up, but what about some of other inspirations? Because I guess you have to make a fortune, and that's the thing. This is why fortune cookies are so great. They apply to everyone, it seems. So take me into that aspect of the fortune cookie writing.
Well, I was in recovery by then, so a lot of the stuff that inspired me was just based on my own experience of, trying to make the best out of life and bad situations. So that made its way into there for sure.
And just on the things there must be themes, right? Like love must be a theme. I think so often.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah, totally. Love, happiness. There was a lot of that stuff.
And the career stuff as well. Were you trying to make sure you thought everyone was going to get a raise next week?
I tried to stay away from that. It's like, I never liked the false promises, just tried to focus more on making the best out of things.
Now, did you ever, through the years after you stopped writing fortune cookies, would you go to a Chinese restaurant and crack open one at the end and say, hey, I wrote this one?
Oh, yeah. Like I said, there was only two companies that did these things. So they were all over the place. And, the funny part was about 6 months after I did it, I got this call from a reporter for the LA Times, and he was getting a lot of complaints from people about their fortunes because they weren't typical fortunes. So he ended up interviewing me about my process, and that story, which I just assumed would be in the back pages somewhere, was on the front page of the LA Times.
Oh, that's incredible.
It was funny.
From fortune cookies, where does that lead you? Tell me about the rest of your career, because I mean, I think that's an interesting part of our series that we've done this week. It may start with one thing, but it leads to other places. Tell me about what else you've done.
Yeah, well, when I did that, I had sold my first novel, but it was in the I sold it to HarperCollins, but it was in the delay process. It had gone through several editors, so it ended up finally coming out a couple of years after the fortune cookie gig, and I've published 8 books now. So yeah, I was able to uh, develop a pretty good career as a writer here in Montana, where I live.
What's harder, writing a fortune or a book?
Oh yeah, book's way harder. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
And what about the radio hosting?
Well, one of the books I wrote was called 56 Counties, where I went around to every county in Montana and wrote about this, what's going on around the state.
Mm.
And that just led to hosting a radio show with the same name. So I've been doing that for about 5 years now.
Wonderful. Now, Russell, I'll try again. Is there one, maybe that's come to your mind, is there one fortune that is your greatest hit? It's your best. It's the one that will go on your tombstone. You got one for our listeners before I let you go?
Yeah. Wish I did. I mean, I guess one of the favorites, and it's kind of become a cliche now, but was don't be afraid to dance badly.
I love it. I love it. This is our message for our listeners as we head into the weekend. Don't be afraid to dance badly. I love it. Russell, thanks for taking the time, and have fun out there in Montana.
Hey, my pleasure. Thanks for having me, sir.
Take care. That's Russell Rowland. Started out as a fortune cookie writer, ended up writing novels and being a radio host in Montana.